Well, here we go. Rmrw Week prep starting right now. So we'll pull a transmission out of the truck because we got a different torque converter. Torque converter decided to uninstall itself when we pulled the trans out, and so that popped out at the same time. But this thing is thoroughly just covered in all sorts of stuff, and so we're gonna be power washing that one up. Then when I go to power wash that one, I'm just gonna set my new converter in there because I got a 2500 stall converter from Hughes, and then I put the old converter into the spare trans already, so that way that's sealed off when I go to power wash it, that's sealed off when I go to power wash it. And then we got everything out, but you can see up here, which I'm way back, but seeing all these lines right there around all of the bolts for the crankshaft. Yeah, I've had an oil leak ever since I got the 5.3 put in this truck. Could never figure out where it was from. Always had a sneaking suspicion that it was from the crank bolts, because when I went to go put the blue Loctite on it, I ended up wiping off some of it, thinking, oh hey, like they're normal bolts. And I knew they went all the way into the crank, or all the way through the crank into the oil, but it didn't really click for me. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull all those back off. I'm gonna re-Loctite them, and I actually have a set of ARP 12-point bolts I'm gonna put in instead of the regular stock ones. And then we're gonna take those and we're gonna reseal that, put the right amount of Loctite on it, probably put a little bit of Teflon tape towards the back of the threads. But yeah, and we're gonna get that oil leak taken care of. We're gonna get the transmissions taken care of. They're still gonna leak because they're turbo 350s, but that's okay, they're gonna work. But we're at least gonna get them cleaned and get everything as fresh as we can possibly get it before race week. And then we're just gonna go have ourselves a good time. So I got tires coming in later this week because the fronts are gonna go on the back because I really don't like those tires. So we're just gonna do burnouts and use those as our road tires, let them get chewed up. And then, yeah, I got new tires for these rims, and then I've got my slicks. So yeah, we've just got some basic maintenance, and then this is the biggest job right now. So as soon as we get this done, home free. And I just got the pan off, and it's looking, you know, not too bad. I mean, there's a little bit clutch material. You can't see anything. You can see all those spots right there. That's all metal flake, but it's less metal shavings than what was in it last year. And we did all of the event last year, and this is the first time that I've pulled the pan since race week. And so honestly, it's pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it. Fluid came out really nice and red. There's a little bit of clutch material here in the bottom. Again, not as much as what was in there last year. A little bit of metallic, some bronze right there, but trans is still good. It's still shifting. It's still doing everything that I need it to do. So we're just gonna get everything put back together. We have a spare transmission this year, so if we do run into any issues, then we'll just chuck that one in. Or I still gotta pull the pan off of that spare transmission, and we'll see which one's the best, and we'll just probably end up just putting that one in. But yeah, if not, old trans will go back in. Mostly this is just R&R, and also too, I gotta put that torque converter in, so the transmission has to come out no matter what. But yeah, we're just gonna give everything a good once over and keep on trucking. Morning, everybody. Next day, sun's shining. Nope, I don't like that intro. Anyways, start this again. Morning, everybody. No, I don't like that either. I guess we'll just start. Anywho's and ways. Day 2, getting ready for Rocky Mountain Race Week. Got, you know, the infamous flat black spray paint that all you know that I love to use on literally everything. So I got both transmissions here this morning. This is the original trans that came out of the C10. This is the backup trans. So I haven't pulled this one apart yet to check to see what it's looking like. But after seeing the metal that was in the pan yesterday, I'm gonna pull this one apart, and if this one's clean, we're actually just gonna use this one because I got a brand new torque converter and I don't really feel like putting any sort of material through a brand new converter because it was not cheap. And so we're gonna service this up. We're gonna paint both of these today, and you know, with the infamous flat black spray paint. And we're just gonna get rolling on that here. And yeah, we're gonna get a transmission stab back in. I'm not sure which transmission we're doing yet, but we're gonna get a transmission stab back in this thing and get the C10 back on the road today, because I still got to finish cruise control of some form and or fashion, and got to take the flex plate off and re-Loctite all of that, and some Teflon tape, and we got some stuff to do today, so we're just gonna get her rolling. All right, so we got the flex plate out, and as you can see, I got oil marks all over it, but I did check all the bolts, and all of them are clean except one, and it is this guy right here. You can see it's just dry right there. This one actually has fluid all the way up and down it. Well, it's actually just oil. And so I did have enough Loctite on these. I just didn't have enough on this one to keep it sealed, but everything was still tight. Everything was good that way. But as we will see under here, pretty torrential oil leak, which part of that might still be from the pan. But since I'm here, I'm just gonna put the new bolts in anyways, re-Loctite everything, clean all that, and then gonna call it good. There's a little bit more of an oil leak up towards the front, but I'm not worried about the pan gasket right now because I have to lift the whole motor to do it. So we're just gonna do this for right now and get the C10 back up and rolling today. So just filling the torque converter with fluid right now, which actually I'll show you. Boom. Here's our new 2500 stall Hughes converter. So this should help us leave a little bit harder and not be super slow. So right now, just starting to fill it with fluid. It's taken a couple quarts so far, but yeah, we're getting there. We're just trans torn apart here. We're not really torn apart. We at least got the pan off of it. And honestly, looking pretty good. Just as far as like, there's not a whole bunch of clutch material on everything. Everything I can see from the filter's really clean, at least on the top side. Trans fluid came out really red and nice, just like what my trans was. But this trans has something going for it, and there's way less clutch material in the pan. So there's a little dollop of it right here. And so, but it's very gray. It's not very metallic-y. Now, when I wiped the side of the pan, we are getting some brass material, which you can't really see it in the camera, but it is there. Got a little bit of brass, a little bit of metal flake, but not near as much as what was in my transmission. And so I think the plan is we're going to use the spare trans, and the trans that was in here is now becoming the spare trans. So we're gonna leave that converter with it because I don't feel like taking my brand new converter and filling it with whatever's left in that transmission as far as metal shavings and other stuff, which the filter's doing a good job of catching all of it, but I just kind of want to try it. We're gonna see if this one works, and if not, I'm gonna spend another 6 hours pulling it out and then put another one back in. But that's okay. That's just what we gotta do. So, all right, converter's going in. Oh shoot. I'm gonna need this over there. Okay. All right. That was very minimal spillage. I'm very happy about that. Okay. This converter's so tiny. So small. Okay. All right, we got all 3 clicks in for the converter. So, yeah. feeling pretty good about it. So, boom. Look how small this thing is. So to do it as reference, the converter or the regular converter that was in the truck before, you can't fit your hands back behind here once, you know, it's fully seated with all 3 clicks. Yeah, this one, just room for days. So, yeah, now we're ready to go. Also, too, we have a guest. Hi, Roberto. What do you think, Bubba? Yeah, what do you think? Floppy ears. Alrighty, we got all that done, so now all I got to do is trim those ears off, and then that trans can go. Oh, actually, I have one more thing to do. I got to swap the tail housings because I need the speedometer gears out of this one to put into this one because it's got this weird janky thing on the side instead of it just being a straight input. So I got to swap that over, but after that, then we're good to go. So. It's a lot spicier than I thought it was gonna be, but you know, we're just gonna do a quick little test rip here. And so that's gonna be about, it's supposed to flash at 2500, but do a burnout all the way through first and pretty much into second. Awesome. Back here for day 3 of Rmrw Race Week Prep. So we got the truck back to my home garage because we got the transmission reinstalled back in the truck with the new torque converter. And we got a couple things to button up because I don't have the correct torque converter mount bolts. So I got those picked up today at my local hardware store, and we're gonna be taking those, getting trans mount in, because right now it's held in with a ratchet strap. Actually, I'm just gonna show you because it's even funnier when you look at it. Yeah, just right around the tail housing, also a block of wood to space everything because that's how we roll. But transmission is up in here with a nice brand new Hughes converter. We're just gonna get rolling here with all this. So we've only got a couple of maintenance items that we need to take care of. So like the cooling fan, we got oil change done. You saw that we replaced the crankshaft bolts with the ARP ones. We got torque converter transmission in, we got all that stuff done. So really all we have left is I got a new set of front wheel bearings from Timken for the C10 because it has a shake in the front end that originally I thought was from a bad wheel alignment, which I'm not sure if you can see, but there we go. We're wearing down the inside pretty aggressively, which I think you can see it a little bit more on this side. If I can get my camera to focus, come on. Anyways, we're pretty much bald on the insides for each tire right here. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be fixing that, which I thought it was from bad alignment, ended up being I didn't get the wheel bearings done correctly as far as the preload, and which happens. You know, I've done wheel bearings twice on this truck. Had it right the first time, clearly didn't have it right the second time. So we're gonna do wheel bearings again. Got some Timkens, and that pretty much takes care of that problem. Besides that, shoot, really don't have anything else to get ready except we're gonna clean the truck, we're gonna spruce it up a little bit. If I have time, I'd like to build a center console for it because, as you can see right now, we did get a lot of the interior done last year, so we got those Grand Prix seats in here. I'm sorry for how dirty it is, but I'd like to build a center console right here so we have better cup holders than the ones we currently have. But that's about it, so we're gonna get rolling on it here. Trans cross members fully bolted in, and we have a trans mount. Wheel bearings. So I got the rotors off, and yeah, you see all that extra black? That's all because it completely chewed out the wheel seals. There's supposed to be more of a lip here. See, like, especially that gap right there. Then this one, this was the worst side. This was passenger side. There's no more rubber here. This is just all gone. So clearly I was not even anywhere close, which not quite sure how I did that, but because I've done plenty of trailer bearings and everything else. I think it was just, I was trying to do it with a pair of pliers because we were in a hurry. It just bit us. But also too, not the end of the world. I mean, with how that was, shoot, I probably put easily over 10,000 miles, probably closer to 20,000 miles on that. And it never, I mean, it shook real bad. Not real bad, but you know, basically that's basically our wear pattern, is we're just really bold on the insides. But those tires are going on the back anyways, so again, not a huge deal. So we'll get everything reserviced, and we got brand new seals, we got brand new bearings, easy fix. First things first, before we start rebuilding on those, I gotta get my bench cleaned. I gotta get some of the stuff in this shop cleaned up because it is an absolute, it looks like a bomb went off in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some cleaning here, but now we got everything cleaned. We'll go ahead and start getting the rotors up here. We'll get them torn apart and get new bearings put in them. Yeah, they're supposed to look a little bit more like this. They've actually got that lip on there. The other ones, they don't have that. So we got front wheel bearings, everything else done on the C10. So we're gonna take it out for a little bit of a cruise. Get it.